Celtic Renewables is a green chemical company leading the way in replacing petrochemicals with biologically derived green chemicals. Today we meet the person in charge of distribution for Celtic and hear about the growing number of sectors and multinational businesses that are waiting for their solution. This is the Angel Nest, where real angel investors and entrepreneurs partner to build great new companies. I'm David Hemingway. I'm a 5-time founder and now an active angel investor, and my mission here is to tell the stories that are powering innovation. We don't make or recommend investments at the Angel Nest, and this program is for informational purposes only. Mark Simmers is founder and CEO of Celtic Renewables, and he's been on a 12-year mission to source acetone-Butanol-Ethanol to the companies everywhere that use them in many of the products we use every day. Welcome back, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, David.
And Mark Bamforth is his early investor who joins us to provide his perspective on the market and the worldwide potential for green chemicals. Great to see you again, Mark.
Hi, David.
And we welcome Bettina Brierley to the Angel Nest today to talk about the need and the market demand for green chemicals. Bettina joins us from Manchester, England.
Thank you for having me.
Mark Simmers, how pervasive are these chemicals? Most of us are coming into contact with them every day, aren't we?
Yes, as I say, we make acetone-Butanol-Ethanol, and our primary focus is on the acetone and butanol, as these chemicals almost exclusively come from fossil fuel currently. They go into production processes or as used as ingredients to make thousands of things omnipresent in our everyday lives. Food ingredients like vitamin C tablets and decaffeinated coffee, medicines, paints and lacquers used in our homes and on our cars, cleaning products for our homes and our clothes, cosmetics like creams and nail polish, and many, many more. So if we want to continue living our lives the way we do, but to live in a more sustainable way, then we either have to completely change the way we make those products, or we need to change the ingredients that go into making them. And that's where Celtic Renewables comes in, making green chemicals that achieve that to make our lives more sustainable.
So now you have a plant, you have IP, and you're going to market, right?
Yes, that's right. Our first plant is operational and we're shipping products to customers. And working with Bettina and her colleagues at Celtic, we've developed a great list of initial customers for the green chemicals. The challenge is that their collective demand is many more times than we can currently supply. And so the pressure's on to grow the business and to build bigger production plants to meet that initial demand.
Well, a challenge for sure, but a nice position to be in. Bettina, you're a veteran of the chemical industry. You told me you've been waiting for a solution like Celtic for a long time.
Yes, definitely. And it's the first real innovation that I've seen in the chemical area that is green and not just greenwashed.
Interesting. Are companies going green because they need to from a regulatory standpoint, or is it the right thing to do for the business and for their sales and to grow their companies?
It's a little bit twofold. We see both areas. Some follow the regulatories. Now, the regulatories are not really clean cut at this moment in time. So we like to work with the companies that really have a vision and really want to implement the green chemicals from the Celtic Renewables much more than following any regulation. There are companies out there that have definitely bought into this and want to be green rather than being regulated to be green. And those are really the customers that will be most interested in the Celtic Renewable green chemicals.
Can you give us some examples?
A good example is, for example, the household industry, where we use them every day, the dishwashing liquids, the floor cleaners, and that industry is very interested in changing their raw materials. And the beauty of the products from the Celtic Renewables is exactly what we discussed before, that they come from residue materials. So they're not food competing. Yeah, because the residues are already in the sort of market. So what we see is a lot of companies try to be green by using food competing crops, like, for example, rapeseed or sugarcane, molasses, that we will need to feed the world. We do not want these used in chemicals, whereas from residues, you have a completely different aspect, and that is the beauty of these products. So they're really green rather than just being semi-green.
Bettina, assuming we get to a point where we can supply all these chemicals on a 100% green basis, are companies ready to do that?
Yes. Yes, I think they are. What will happen is because the supply at the moment is very limited, so we are positioning them in all sorts of markets, meaning mostly cosmetic, pharmaceuticals, home care. But by the time the Celtic Renewables have built the next plant and the next plant and the next plant, definitely there will be a demand for this because we will position them correctly in the market so that everybody will want them.
You're on the front line with the customers, so you're a very important part of the equation here. Tell us about your experience with Celtic Renewables and how you've come to be so comfortable with their proposition.
I've been in the chemical industry for 33 years. The time is right to introduce these. We all have to do our bit to change the world, to make it a better place. The chemical industry is a huge industry that has to play a part. And that's what the Celtic Renewables, that's where they fit in the best. I think for me, the best way to describe this is we cannot change the consumers. But what we said before is that we have offer products that give the consumers the confidence that they are differently grown and not fossil derived. And that's what we will have to do. So we have to control the consumer in a way so that we give them the right products to make the world a better place.
And how's the reaction so far from customers? Is it too early to tell?
Very interested. Yes. We have some companies that really have bought into this concept. They know what they have to do to make this happen. And they will go all the way to do this. Even though we cannot deny this, a little bit more expensive, but we can sell this. The time is right to do the right thing, so I think there will be no problem.
Mark Bamforth, as an investor, I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing something that the world has to do, both morally, ethically, from a regulatory standpoint, and so that we can all survive. Virtually unlimited demand, and you are one of the pioneers in Celtic in this industry. It seems like an unlimited opportunity for investors.
Yes, David, the demand is huge, and a full-scale plant would supply just a fraction of the needs that there are. The other great news is that the raw material, the residues or byproducts or waste from these different industries is also almost unlimited. So really the key is this technology that sits in the middle that allows us to take those low value materials and in a sustainable way make products that are in high demand. What that really means is that there's the opportunity to build dozens, even hundreds of these plants. Many of them would sit next to the plants that are already producing the residues or wastes and take them directly in, or somewhere in a central location to take material from several plants. The key really now is to focus on the next 3, 4, 5 and build those plants at scale and demonstrate their performance and the continued market demand for these products, and then continue to scale further from there.
And you have protection around the IP that allows you to do this.
There's IP that is specific to the conversion of the residues from these different plants. As you can imagine, there are differences between a brewery or a distillery or a yeast plant. And so there's protection around the IP for the manufacture of those products coming from those different inputs.
Mark Simmers, at one point I asked you if you were going to branch out into other chemicals, and you said there's really no need, almost unlimited demand in what you've already mastered.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Our focus is on acetone and butanol at the moment. But David, never say never. We'll continue to look at commercial opportunities. There are some other really interesting chemical groups that Bettina will know about that could potentially be made biologically. And so, we'll continue to see what else appears. But I always say, let's stay focused on what we're good at. And we know we're good at ABE fermentation from waste and residues. And so let's get our gold medal in that. And then we'll see where we go next.
Sounds right. Bettina Brierley, a distributor for Celtic Renewables and part of Caldic Industries. Thank you very much for joining us today. Mark Simmers and Mark Bamforth, thanks again as well.
Thank you.
So low-cost supply is something else that Celtic has to tackle in order to grow and be sustainable. In our next episode, we'll talk to Mike Hogg. He's from 3R Bio Recovery Limited. It's their job to supply the raw material for Celtic to reach their potential. You can find contact information for our guest today at our website, theangelnest.com, where you can also reach me if you know of a really interesting company or opportunity that we should talk about. Remember, we don't make or recommend investments at The Angel Nest, and this program is for informational purposes only. I'm David Hemingway. We produce The Angel Nest with help from David Newhoff and Charles de Montebello at CDM Studios at the Art Deco Film Center building just west of Times Square in New York. Thanks for listening, and here's hoping my fellow investors and the founders they support find their next great venture. So long until next time.